In this video, I will show you some fun little tricks that you can use to edit your spirit photos. So you should have shot your long exposure photographs of your quote-unquote ghosts. You're going to edit one photo that you took in class as well as two photos that you took outside of class. Both of those images should be distinctly different. It shouldn't just be the same, you know, composition or similar concept. Okay, so this is just a quick image I pulled off of the internet, and I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do. So first, what you might want to do is adjust for levels. You can also do, to make it look like a vintage photograph, make it black and white. So add a black and white adjustment level. You could add a tint to it. You know, you can warm it up a little bit so it's not so harsh, black and white. You could also just do regular black and white. You can try the custom presets. For now, I'll just leave it. You can add a photo filter. And play around until you get a look that you like, but that can also create that sepia toned look. All right, so when you get the basic image to look the way you want, oh, sorry guys, you can add some texture, some dust or scratches. So one way that you can do that is you can actually create a whole new layer with that texture. So I have this image, so what I'm going to do is hit Command A on my keyboard, or I can use the rectangular marquee tool and just drag from one corner to the other. But I'd like to do Command A, that selects the whole thing, so you can see the little marching ants around the outside. Command C to copy, and then I'll go back over here and I'll just hit Command V, and that automatically puts that into a new layer. Now this isn't big enough for my image, so I'm going to hit Command T, and that is a shortcut to your edit transform. It's actually the free transform, but if you just hit the shift key, you can drag out your corners. Actually, you don't need to use shift because it doesn't matter if we stick to proportions. We don't have to constrain our proportions. Okay, and obviously now you can't see your image, so this is where you get to play with some blend modes. So there's all different things here that might work for you. It depends on what filter you, or what texture you used, what your image looks like underneath. So you have to figure out what looks best for yours. I think, try overlay. Okay, so that just adds, it actually adds some color back into my image, which is kind of neat. Like, it kind of looks like, you know, over time it, you know, decayed. So that's kind of like a happy little accident there. And you can see it kind of adds like a scratch in here, which adds to that old-timey effect. If you don't want this to have color, you could make that image, or the texture, black and white. You can also change your opacity, you know, to get the look that you want. So totally up to you. Let me try this one. So then there's also, I have this one. So obviously this is a vertical image, but I'm going to hit Command A and Command C, and then Command V, and then I'll go to Edit Transform, and I'll rotate it 90 degrees, and click on my Move tool, and now I can edit Transform Scale, or just hit Command T and drag this out to fill the frame there. Accept the changes, and then again I can go to different blend modes, and that works really nicely. You can see all the scratches around the edge, and technically you could create something like this yourself by just creating a new blank layer, clicking on your paint bucket tool, selecting black, filling the whole screen in black, and then using different brushes. You know, like let's say I use, I don't know, oops, I'm gonna do some different opacities of white. Just, this is not great, but just to give you guys an idea of how this works. Okay, and then, you know, you could do some fun things like make it lighter on the edges and what have you. And then here we can change that to screen, and you can see that it kind of, I mean, it doesn't look great because I used weird brushes, but anyway. But you could, in theory, change it back to normal. You could make a layer yourself that has some texture and scratches if you wanted to. Okay, so what I use, screen? Yeah. Okay. And then you could go even further if you wanted to. So if you liked how this looks, you could also add a new blank layer. You could fill it in black or white. So for this one, I'm going to actually do white. Okay. And then you're going to go up to the filter gallery. So you can click on filter and then filter gallery. And you're going to go down to texture and click on grain. And this is going to add some different effects to that white layer you have. And you can change all of this. So I'm going to do vertical. It adds like these really cool lines, and you can play with, you know, how intense it looks. I have a bunch of things saving in the background right now, so my computer's being really slow. So it'll give you the preview here of how intense the texture is. So I'm going to go all the way up here so you can easily see it, and you can play with contrast and all of that to get the look you want. Okay, and now again you'll have to change your blend mode. So multiply might be good. So it's just very, very subtle, but adds those lines to sort of make it feel older and creepier. You could also add a paper texture if you wanted to. So like a quick search on the internet, you know, we can use Brush Easy. You know, and you can download something like this, like old paper, folded paper, and then add that, and then again just change your blend mode. So that basically sums it up. Oh, sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, so okay, so this was my original. You know, it's in color because we have digital cameras here, and then this is edited black and white, little sepia tone to it, warm it up a little bit, and then adding in some different textures to give it that old creepy feeling. You can also add frames and do different things around the edge to make it look like it's ripped paper. Okay, but there you have it. It's a basic tutorial on how to make your ghost photo look extra creepy. And don't forget to crop and rotate and do all of those things if you need to. Okay, happy editing.